Hello, and welcome to this how-to video. I'm Rich Crawford, a technical marketing engineer for Azure NetApp Files. Today, I'll introduce Azure NetApp Files Elastic Zone Redundant Storage, or Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS for short. I'll cover what it is, how it works, give a quick demonstration of an example deployment, then show you what it looks like in Azure, and then show you an example of an actual failover and what it looks like. First off, what is Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS? It's a new service level for Azure NetApp Files that synchronously replicates your file data across 3 Azure availability zones in one region. In practice, that means every write to your storage is instantly copied to 3 different data centers. The result is a single, always-on volume that stays available even if an entire availability zone goes down. Essentially, your data remains accessible with 0 data loss and no special setup. Azure handles the redundancy for you. You still get the full enterprise-grade capabilities of Azure NetApp Files, and you only pay for what you use, so you can start small and scale up without over-provisioning. Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS works by synchronously mirroring every write operation to all availability zones in the same Azure region. When your application writes to an Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS volume, that write is committed in multiple zones before it is acknowledged. This guarantees that if one zone goes down unexpectedly, an up-to-date copy of your data is immediately available in all other zones. If one availability zone unexpectedly goes offline, the service will automatically detect it and fail over to the other zone that has the data. This ensures 0 data loss and near instant failover. Importantly, you do not need to do anything during failover. The storage endpoint or the mount address that uses your application stays the same. Your application just keeps reading and writing as soon as the new active zone takes over, with no manual reconfiguration. The whole multi-AZ replication and failover process is managed behind the scenes by Azure. You simply create a volume with the zone redundant service level, and the platform handles the rest. Now let's examine how this works with an example deployment. Zone redundant storage for Azure NetApp Files uses Azure's ZRS managed disks to ensure customers have access to their data even in the event of a zone failure. Here there are 3 capacity pools indicated in dark green. 2 in Zone 1 that will fail over to Zone 2 and Zone 3 respectively, and 1 in Zone 2 that will fail over to Zone 3. To handle zone failures, we reserve a spare VM shown in pink for each capacity pool in its failover zone. This ensures that a capacity pool can fail over quickly and efficiently to a new VM. So what happens if a zone fails? The control plane, which is replicated and resilient to zone failures, will move all capacity pools out of the zone. We can see that here, where the 2 capacity pools in Zone 1 are moved to their failover zones, taking over their spare nodes. Now let's see how this works with a demo. As you can see, we are in the Azure portal. We're going to go to Azure NetApp Files. And inside of Azure NetApp Files, we are going to create a new NetApp Elastic account. As with the other Azure NetApp Files service levels and accounts, we're going to just give it a name. Tie it to a subscription. Tie it to a resource group. Tie it to a location. And here's the new ability for us to get to the zone redundant storage service level by choosing NetApp Elastic account. We will then create the account. Our NetApp account has been created. As you can see, we are inside of our new NetApp Elastic account. The first thing we're going to do is create a capacity pool. We're going to go to Add Pool. We're going to give this pool a name. Choose our service level of zone redundant. That's how we know we have a NetApp Elastic account. Give it a pool size of 1 TB, so we can go all the way from 1 TB to 128 TB in size. We will choose our virtual network and our delegated subnet. Inside of here, you can choose an encryption key source. either Microsoft managed or customer managed. Here is where you will also set up your Active Directory configuration. And here's where we set up our zone failover. Remember, this is the only time you can set the preferred zone order. And in this case, we're just going to do zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. We're then going to create the new capacity pool. Remember, with Azure NetApp Files Elastic Zone Redundant Storage, the capacity pool creation can take a little bit of time. This is normal behavior. Now we're going to go ahead and create our first volume. So we're going to go to Volumes. We're going to click Add Volume. We're tying it to our capacity pool. We give our volume a name. We can go anywhere from 1 gig all the way up to 100 TB in volume size. I'm going to click Next. We're going to choose our protocol type. We have NFS or SMB. In this case, we're choosing NFS v3. We can do our export policies if we need to. We're going to click Next. Next. And then we're going to review and create. And then we're going to create our first volume. Once the volume is created, it'll be ready for application workloads, and we can go from there. As you can see, our volume has been created. You can see we have an NFS v3 volume, and our service level is zone redundant. And now we're going to simulate zone failure by starting a simple application to touch the files in a volume. Touch will only succeed when the volume in the capacity pool is available and healthy. We will simulate this zone failure by bringing down the nodes in zone 1 in the background, and we'll monitor operations from the Linux client. As you can see, zone 1 is down from the timestamp at which touch.io is paused. These operations did not go through and are waiting for the volume to become available again. The capacity pool is in the process of failing over to the other zone. We're going to skip ahead a little bit, and now you can see that I/O has resumed without any outside intervention, indicating that the capacity pool has successfully failed over and the volume is now accessible. Now let's go back to the Azure portal and check the capacity pool. We were originally in zone 1. Now you can see the capacity pool has been moved to zone 3 successfully. As you can see from the demo, Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS is ideal for critical applications that need high availability within a single region. It keeps your data in multiple zones with automatic failover, ensuring continuous access with no data loss, and it does this without sacrificing features or adding complexity. Truly continuity without compromise. For more information, check out the Azure NetApp Files Elastic ZRS documentation on Microsoft Learn via the link or the QR code below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.